Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You may be seated. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to be with you this evening in Green Bay, the city of champions. Now, I like to say we've also spent the day in Madison and touring throughout Wisconsin. I love your state. It's great. It's great to spend the day here with the great people of Wisconsin. I like always saying that anywhere I travel, anywhere I go to, uh, I invite the congressional delegation from the state I'm heading to. Now, get this, this makes a lot of sense to fly to Washington and fly back with me the next day. And what that basically is that on that flight time, that gives me a little sense of what's happening in your state and what's going on. And this morning, I had the experience to be on board with the aircraft, Air Force One, with Senator Baldwin and Mayor Gingrich. Thank you very much for the time this morning. We talked a little bit during the flight over this morning about the issues facing Wisconsin, and they're issues not unlike everything that's facing our country. So it's great to be here again today. You know, as we gather tonight to reflect on the trials and triumphs of the past 3 years, I stand before you not only as your leader, but as a fellow citizen, sharing a vision to renew the spirit of our great nation. We have faced unprecedented challenges, from the relentless grip of an unprecedented pandemic to the growing polarization. Yet, through it all, we have demonstrated a resilience that defines the American spirit. Now, think about it. Almost 4 years ago, and it will be almost 4 years ago next month that the COVID pandemic first reached our shores. And some say it was here earlier. But we started seeing the true signs of the pandemic starting to hit our shores almost 4 years ago. We were, at that time, the economy was in good shape. People were working. Everything was ticking along. And in a blink of an eye, our country, the economy was shut down. We ended up with 15.5% unemployment. Now, think about where we are right now. We're just below 4%. We went from 15.5% to 4% in 4 years. While that is great news economically, our country faces tremendous challenges. You know, in the course of those 3 years, almost 4 years, our collective efforts have borne fruit, witnessing a remarkable reduction in unemployment, like I told you, from 15% to an impressive 3.7%. Tonight, I want to share with you our commitment to overhauling a few of the things that have happened, a few of the systems that need to be overhauled that were taken advantage of during the pandemic. Now, when I said that we went from roughly 3.8, 3.9% to 15.5% unemployment, America was shut down. The economy was shut down. We were basically locked down. How did we go about saving an economy that was on the brink of a disaster? We had to pump money into it. We had to get money into the hands of people who lost their jobs for no fault of their own. Millions of people lost their jobs in the course of just a few days, not in any fault of their own. But instead of letting the economy collapse, we infused money into it to stabilize the economy. As the pandemic went on, when the vaccines came out, the pandemic stabilized, the economy stabilized. Some people went back to work. But there's still that group of people out there who found a way to circumnavigate the system and not return to work. You know, in that unemployment system that I'm talking about, the current one is going to be overhauled. It will no longer be susceptible to exploitation. And you heard me talk about it. Our new enhanced unemployment system will mandate a minimum of 5 job interviews per week for continued benefits. Now, think about that. And I have been through unemployment. I know what it's like. Um, you can get back to work. There's no reason why you can't work. If you look at the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics study, there are 1.6 jobs available for every person in this country. For every person standing in this room here tonight, you can walk out and get 1.5 jobs. 1.5 jobs. And unemployment is not meant to be an income source, a permanent income source. It's meant to stabilize your situation to help you pay your bills until you find another one. When you lose your job, your new job is to find a new job. And this requirement of 5 job interviews per week makes you want to work to get that job. And oftentimes it will be a higher paying job. And this program will ensure that every able-bodied American is presented with ample opportunities for gainful employment. If you're able to work, you're going to work. Now, let me be clear about this. When I talk about able-bodied, I'm excluding our seniors and our stay-at-home parents. I'm addressing those, however, who, despite the end of the pandemic, have chosen unemployment and have not returned to the workforce. This status quo needs to change, and under my leadership, it will. Mark my words, it will. We've talked a lot the last part of last year and the first part of this year about infrastructure. This initiative is not merely about fixing things. It is a deliberate effort to strengthen and modernize critical elements such as roads and bridges. Our commitment to improving infrastructure goes beyond immediate repairs. This initiative is a strategic and forward-looking endeavor aimed at enhancing the very foundation of our nation. We recognize that our roads, bridges, and other essential structures form the backbone of our society, facilitating economic activities, connectivity, and the overall well-being of our citizens. This improvement plan involves a meticulous assessment of current infrastructure conditions, identifying areas that require not only repairs, but comprehensive upgrades. We are focused on deploying advanced engineering solutions to ensure that our infrastructure not only meets existing standards, but anticipates and adapts to the evolving needs of our dynamic society. From the development of smarter transportation networks to incorporating innovative materials and construction methodologies, our aim is to create infrastructure that is not only durable, but also efficient. We envision a future where our citizens experience smoother commutes, safer travels, and a robust infrastructure network that facilitates and society progress. Central to our strategy is recognizing the profound impact of our communities. It's not just about construction. It's about creating opportunities by investing in these improvements. We're stimulating local economies, generating jobs, and breathing new life into neighborhoods, ensuring prosperity reaches every corner of our nation. I just talked about jobs. Every time one of these infrastructure jobs are started in the city, you got jobs. You got jobs. So this is going to go hand in hand with the enhanced unemployment. A cornerstone of this initiative is our commitment to environmental stewardship. We are incorporating advanced technologies to make our infrastructure more eco-friendly, including significant investments in renewable energy projects, such as solar, and recognizing the need for collaboration. We emphasize bipartisanship. And I say this, we emphasize bipartisanship. And tonight, and every day I've talked about this, I call on Congress to unite and pass a comprehensive legislative plan that not only addresses immediate needs, but sets the foundation for sustained long-term development. Understanding the unpredictability of the future, our plan prioritizes resilience. Strengthening our infrastructure ensures a quicker recovery in times of crisis and underscores our nation's ability to rebound from unforeseen challenges. Beyond immediate concerns, the plan charts its course for the future. Strategic investments are intended to position the United States as a global leader, not just economically, but also in terms of technological innovation. This initiative transcends political affiliations. It is a collective effort reflecting the enduring spirit of our nation. As we discuss this plan and as we walk through this with Congress and Senate later on, let us remember that it's opportunity for our country to work together, irrespective of our differences, for the collective betterment of all. And that's what I mean, true bipartisanship. And that means reaching across the aisle. That means reaching across the aisle, irregardless if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever you are, work together for the betterment of the people of this country. Many times, people in our Congress and the Senate and other branches of the government oftentimes go to D.C. and lose sight of where they came from, and that's very easily done. You can very easily do that, but we must not forget who put us there. You put us there. The people of the United States put us there, and we owe them the job that they elected us to do. Shifting our focus to the exorbitant cost of prescription drugs. This issue transcends mere policy. It's a moral imperative. It's unjust for individuals to bear the burden of paying hundreds of dollars for medications while you got big pharma over here raking in billions of dollars in profits. How is that fair? I talk about a teacher back home in Texas, and we all know through my Back to Basics plan, I talk about getting better pay for teachers. Teachers do not get paid a lot of money. This particular teacher has a medication, not that she wants, but that she needs. It costs her $700 a prescription. Now, how is that fair? How is that fair when you got big pharma over here raking in billions of dollars in profits? You see TV commercials all the time talking about how you can get generic medication that is oftentimes, when it's branded, hundreds of dollars, but you get a generic medication, it's $46, $47. That's reasonable. Paying $700 for a prescription is not. That's going to change under my administration. That's going to change. Now let's turn our attention to the transformative potential of electric vehicles, which I know is important up here in this neck of the woods. As we stand on the precipice of a significant shift towards EVs, we must acknowledge the importance of our infrastructure readiness. This transition involves a comprehensive overhaul, from charging stations to power grids. Rushing without proper preparations is like setting sail without a navigational map, risking challenges that could hinder the adaptation process and lead to unintended consequences. Our journey towards a sustainable future requires careful planning and strategic execution. Let us not be hasty in our pursuit, but rather deliberate in ensuring that our infrastructure is ready to support the electric revolution. By doing so, we pave the way for a smoother, more efficient transition that benefits not only us, but generations to come. And I will make you this promise here tonight. There's people talking how they were going to do the EV transition in 20 or 30 years. We will transition to EV vehicles when the infrastructure is ready and this country is ready. Shifting our focus to the issue of the border. Let me affirm here tonight that the United States welcomes people, but it must occur through proper channels, not through unauthorized crossings. We will diligently reestablish border to ensure border security. We have to. You don't have a nation if you don't have borders. Border security, reestablishing control at the borders, is a priority of my administration. And one of the number one drug related issues in this country, fentanyl, is directly related to the border. It's unfolding within our nation. It demands urgent attention. This synthetic opioid, known for its formidable potency, has become a central part of the ever expanding narrative of the opioid epidemic. This crisis requires an approach from intensifying law enforcement efforts to dismantling illicit drug networks to enhancing addiction treatment accessibility within our healthcare systems. Addressing the fentanyl crisis mandates collaboration across various sectors, from the government agencies and healthcare professionals to community organizations, to a unified and multifaceted approach. We can strive to stem the tide of this devastating epidemic, safeguarding communities and fostering a healthier, more resilient community and society. We can do that. But in order to put fentanyl crisis put it behind us, we have to reestablish and get our borders under control. Think about fentanyl. The number of fentanyl that comes across our border every day is enough to kill every single American. Let that sink now. Just think about it. Every day, enough fentanyl crosses this border to kill everybody in this country. It must stop. You know, the job of president is multifaceted. You have to handle domestic issues, you have to handle international issues. The Middle East has been marred by decades of conflict, and the Israeli-Palestinian issue remains at the heart of this turmoil. I firmly believe that a just and equitable solution lies in the establishment of two independent states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. Supporting a two-state solution does not mean taking sides. Whether it's an endorsement of a just and comprehensive resolution that accommodates the rights, security, and dignity of both Israelis and Palestinians. It's a call for dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to finding common ground for the betterment of all involved. You know, and we really can find a solution to this. I know we've been trying for probably thousands of years. But I believe the two-state solution, letting both of Israel and Palestine coexist, is the way to peace in the Middle East. Now, on the next topic here, and deep down in my heart, and my religion tells me this, deep down in my heart, I believe it's wrong to take somebody's life. I believe, however, in the sanctity of life, and I recognize the profound value of every individual. At the same time, I firmly believe in a woman's right to make choices about her body and reproductive health. The issue of abortion rights is multifaceted, involving personal beliefs, ethical consideration, and legal frameworks. Supporting a woman's right to choose does not diminish the recognition of the inherent value of life. Rather, it acknowledges the complexities of individual circumstances and the autonomy that women deserve in making deeply personal decisions. As a society, we must strive to create an environment where women have access to comprehensive reproductive health care, education, and support. You know, and bottom line, the government has no right in dictating what a woman does with her body, or even a man. That's not the government's job. That's not the government's job. So why are we letting them say you must have an abortion? Why are we saying to them, you must do this? It's up to you and your doctor to decide what's best for you. Now, education reform stands as a pivotal cornerstone of our nation's restoration. Our classrooms should be sanctuaries of learning, not political battlegrounds. My education plan is called Back to Basics, aims to support teachers provide education and prepare the students for the future by depoliticizing the classroom. and basically taking politics out. Politics never had a place in that classroom, in the schools. It needs to go out. It needs to go out now. Restoring patriotism and reinforcing fundamentals like history and the ABCs is not just a campaign slogan. It is an imperative. You all know that I've been married to an educator for over 20 years. Understanding the challenges teachers face, increasing teacher pay is critical. Although it's a state level matter, I aim to assist states in funding these raises, not seize control from them. And I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be a worse than paragraph. I'm not going to create a program and say this is what you're going to do. We're making the money available for the states. The states will always have control over your child's education. Washington, D.C. should not have anything to do with how the money is spent at the state level. Washington, D.C. probably does not know the issues that are facing your state like you do at the local level here in Wisconsin or any other state in this country. So why should it change? There's one program that is federally funded. That's pre-K. And under my administration, that's the only federal funded program that will exist in education. You know, we must restore patriotism and fundamentals like history and ABCs into our classroom. And we need to reject this so-called woke education. You know, I recall a teacher who prioritized teaching government. He instilled a sense of patriotism without pushing a political agenda. You know, he really did. And out of it came a mayor of my hometown back in Texas. She is a student of Mr. Hickey. I've gone on in government. I'm a student of his. We need to have more Mr. Hickeys in our classrooms. Because you think about it, you look at our classrooms every day. It doesn't matter if you look at a kindergarten classroom, a pre-K classroom, a high school classroom, a college classroom. That's the future of our country. And we must do everything that we can to provide them the knowledge and so that they can make the correct decisions and be the leaders of the future. Should we teach them about mistakes our country's made? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit up here tonight and tell you that in the over 200 years of history of our country, we did everything perfect. Guess what? We didn't. We should teach slavery. Yes, we should. Was it bad? Yes, it was. But we teach these things. So that the future leaders don't repeat them. If we avoid teaching things like slavery in our classrooms, we're bound to repeat those mistakes. You know, the plan I've laid out here tonight is not merely a policy agenda. It's the opening chapter in our journey to restore the greatness of the United States. You know, and it really is. It really is a path to greatness. You know, and I've heard other candidates say this, and I believe what they said. You know, there's nothing that this country can do if we work together as one. Not a single thing that we can't do if we work together. Mankind's greatest accomplishment, landing a man on the moon over 50 years ago, was accomplished by working together. Together, we can work together as the United States of America and move forward and create greatness and make it a country that is something to be proud of. Not that it's already not to be proud of, but it's something to be proud of, and we're on the verge of greatness. May God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.